Welcome to the Fran Snyder podcast, where I talk to artists and music fans to explore how music connects us through great stories and experiences. Brought to you by the Listening Room Network. Today's guest, Charlotte and Rachel. How are you today?
Wonderful.
We're great. Thanks for asking, Fran.
Yeah, are you both in Denton, Texas? Is that right?
Yes, we are. We're in the same town, just in different neighborhoods.
Okay, excellent. Well, Rachel, Charlotte, you reached out to me, I guess, a couple weeks ago. You've been a music fan for a long time, as well as a musician. And you had a pretty interesting story to share about how you and your group of musicians have sort of improvised during the pandemic since the summer, it sounded like. Let's just backtrack a little bit, though. Just introduce yourselves. Rachel Yeats and Charlotte Ivy, both musicians. Let's start with Rachel. What do you play, and how long have you been in Denton?
Well, I play a mandolin mainly. I also play banjo, and I've been in Denton for many years now, since 1994.
Okay, and were you in bands before you met Charlotte?
Yes, I have another band that's called Bluegrass Fire, and I've played with some other groups around the Denton area. So I've been pretty active in it since about 2011.
Okay. And Charlotte, you're kind of a newcomer to Denton. Tell me a little bit about how you met Rachel and a little bit about your musical background.
Right. Well, Roy and I moved here from El Paso, Texas about 2 years ago. And I met Rachel through I wanted to find out if there was a music community here. Of course, I knew that there was, but I wanted to find out specifically if there was bluegrass. And I started inquiring on the internet, looking for the bluegrass community, and Rachel responded to me. And that's how I got connected with her. And I tell everybody around here, we did internet dating. That's how I found her. And we met after I moved here and started playing together and just really enjoyed each other's company, rehearsing, and decided we wanted to do something with our music together. And so we formed a little band, a duo called the Red River Roses.
Is Red River does that run through Denton or something, or?
Oh yeah,
Denton?
Red River's part. Well, the Red River's got an interesting story, and part of what we do is we like to, being bluegrass and old time music, we like to tell stories about our songs. And yes, the Red River is part of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. But interestingly enough, the song is actually about a Red River in Canada.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Red River Valley in Canada, an Indian maiden who's lamenting the fact that her English boyfriend is going back to England. And most people don't know that, but yes, there is a Red River here.
I got you. All right, super. The two of you also continue to meet other musicians and put together a group. So the first thing was what, a bass player?
The first that we added to our group was Larry McCarley, who is our bass player. He's fabulous. He has added a lot of fun and laughter to our group. He's a character. And he started joining us when we would go out to assisted living. Mm-hmm. And then we formed a club here at Robeson Ranch. It's a jam club. So we could encourage musicians here to come out and play with us, because I feel like old time music and bluegrass is really a community music. It's to be shared. So we started meeting other musicians here. And through the Jam Club, we've made some really important connections and people that wanted to join us and play music. Some wanted to come just sing, some wanted to come just listen, but some wanted to bring out their musical instruments. And it's a safe place, no judgment. Anybody can come and play. We've had washboards and spoons and just anything you want to come play. But through that, we picked up Bruce Chittister, who is a very accomplished musician, played in Branson, Missouri for many, many years. He plays the horn, and for us, he plays the harmonica. Okay. Our band is primarily focused on bluegrass, or was. We've kind of branched out since this COVID thing. And then Chris Corbett, who's our percussionist and sound man. He can give us a variety of sounds, trains coming and going. And Michael Weaver, he plays the variety of things like Beatles. He comes from that background.
Okay.
But he's become our lead guitarist, and he's a real strong vocalist.
Nice. So tell me
So
about,
there's 6 of us now.
okay. So tell me about sort of the unexpected and fun experiment that you guys have done with music over the summer.
Well, I remember March 14th was when everything for us here in Denton just shut down. We were on our way to do a Tejas Storytellers Festival. There were 4 of us at that time, and everything just shut down. And so, we all spent, as everyone did, kind of trying to figure out what we were going to do with ourselves and what was life going to be like. But we knew, Rachel and I knew, that we had to keep doing music. We couldn't do it. We tried. Of course, we didn't understand Zoom at that time, and not that that would even work. But trying to play together long distance didn't really work. And we started eventually, beginning probably mid-April, playing outside at my garage, inside the garage and outside the garage.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys were willing to come. They wanted to come too. And so we started just rehearsing and just playing some songs. And some of my neighbors heard us. One of them called me and said, "Do you mind if we put our chairs outside and just listen to you?" And I said, "Well, sure, come ahead, go ahead." And so they were in their driveway. And the idea for the driveway concerts was born. And we held our first driveway concert in May. And it was just very rewarding, uplifting. I mean, they brought their own chairs, they brought their own drinks, they wore their masks if they wanted to. And then if they were comfortable in their little pod, they didn't, but whatever. We asked them if they approached the band to please wear their masks. And we laughingly told the hostess, "It'll be the cheapest party you ever give. Just give us a driveway and an electric plug." And that's how it all started.
All right. And Rachel, what was this an adjustment for you in terms of doing these outdoor driveway shows compared to what you were doing before?
Well, yes and no. I really got my start in a jam here in Denton that's been held traditionally for many years on the courthouse square. So on the lawn, people would just show up and play. You've heard of these jams. I'm sure you've been to some.
Yeah.
So I was used to the jam setting, and I liked that a lot. So playing in the driveway was a lot like that for me.
And when you said, well, you started doing these driveway shows, but you're also doing assisted living. So are they making accommodations outside for your shows there, or?
It came to a stop, Fran. Everything came to a stop. We haven't been able to get back over there yet. It just hasn't. The locations haven't been conducive to taking our band there.
Right. Okay. So you went from playing assisted living places to playing the driveways because of the epidemic. Okay. Excellent. So you've been doing a couple shows a month, or how many shows have you done now?
We've done probably at least a couple of shows a month. Once we've done one, we started being invited all over. There are 2,500 homes in this particular area that I live in that has an HOA. And the word went out that we were doing this. And so we've played in the various area they call the woods. We live in the rocks and stones.
Okay.
but we've played all over the neighborhood, and then we've played out a couple of times in neighborhood situations where we've been invited.
Okay. So you're basically, you've turned it into a tour of your HOA.
Right. Exactly.
That's great. If you are enjoying this podcast, can you pause for a moment to like, review, and subscribe? Please help the world discover our music community and the wonderful artists we support. Your feedback makes a difference. So, what do things look like for you in the Denton area? Is it still how locked down are things there? Are people going to restaurants? Have they, because of the temperate weather, are they making accommodations for like outdoor seating for restaurants? I'm curious what it's like there for you.
Now, we still have outdoor seating. We don't go in very much, but I mean, it's not totally locked down, not like some other parts of the country, but they have had more cases recently. It kind of comes and goes.
Yeah. Because Denton is a pretty, or has been a pretty hectic college town, from what I recall. I used to live in Keller, Texas, not too far
Oh
away from you
yeah.
guys.
Oh, yeah.
And Denton's one of those places I didn't get to very often, but I knew about the school there. So I'm curious, have they been completely absent from the campus this year?
Campus, I used to teach at UNT. So the campus is still sort of both online and in person, but toward the end of the last semester, everything kind of just went online. So they're still trying to do a hybrid of that. They've done a pretty good job of controlling the numbers of cases there at UNT.
Yeah.
But it's a college town, and there's a lot of music venues, of course, here, but none of them are really open right now. You
Yeah.
know, they kind of tentatively tried to open, and then people were just nervous about it, and they kind of decided they'd wait. And so they're not really having a lot of even outdoor music.
Yeah. What were you teaching at UNT?
I taught in the English department.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. So.
And so are you still teaching? Are you teaching online or?
No, I retired in 2018.
Okay.
But
Good timing.
yeah, I taught creative writing, so I've kind of translated that writing poetry into songwriting, which is
Okay.
work. You know, it's been nice.
And I'm guessing the songwriting is mostly with the other band that you're in, since this band is playing mostly traditional and bluegrass songs. Or are some of the members of the band mixing in some original material too?
Well, we do a few. We usually do at least a couple original songs in every set, even in this new kind of eclectic band.
Yeah.
But my little band, Bluegrass Fire, was kind of dedicated just to my songs, and I'm the sole songwriter in that band.
Okay. And so, Charlotte, what does the calendar look like for the driveway shows in January, February? I'm in St. Pete, Florida, but we just had a week of winter here. I think our annual week of winter, and I'm glad I didn't have any outdoor gigs. What's it like for you guys there?
Well, we had our last show for the season. We did a Christmas show up at the club the first weekend in December, and then we decided that we would not even try to rehearse or anything until after the first of the year. We're going to get some new material together, and we're planning our coming out party in March. We've already been asked. We have one scheduled event already, as we're going to do a Christmas in July show in the driveway. Everybody said, well, we did our Christmas show one time. They said, well, can't you do it again? I said, okay, we'll do it for you, but we're going to do it in July.
That's great. So what are some of the highlights from the driveway shows? Any great moments stand out from this driveway experiment?
I think just for me, it's been the reception of the people and how generous they've been. And I mean, they laugh at us and with us, and they come up to us after the show and tell us how much we have meant to them in bringing something that feels normal in this time in our lives. And it's just been such a blessing. I know it has been for the band. We've been able to use our music, to share our music, and I know it's brought me a lot of joy.
Yeah, well, I was tickled to hear your story. I'm glad that you're able to share it with us. I have noticed, I've learned this past year that for a lot of people, music events are their primary social connection to the community. That's like, whether it's going to house concerts or going, it's just like, it's their thing. And being deprived of that for so long has been, extremely difficult for them. And some of the shows that I've attended outdoors, so, distance and whatever, there's still this huge gratitude that comes through for a lot of them. And so kudos to both of you for keeping the music going, and thank you for sharing your story with us.
Oh, well, you bet. It's been wonderful. Thank you for having us.
All right. Well, Happy New Year to both of you. Rachel, Charlotte, thanks for connecting with me, and I hope to hear from you again soon.
You bet. It's great to see you. Thanks for having us. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Fran Snyder Podcast. Please subscribe, like, or share to help your friends discover this community. Also, I'd love to hear from you with any feedback or suggestions you have. And if you'd like to learn more about house concerts and listening rooms around the world, please visit and join listeningroomnetwork.com. You can email me from there. See you next time on the Fran Snyder Podcast.